technology is transforming how our kids are growing up. Last week, we learned that early and prolonged exposure to digital devices can be harmful to the development of young kids.
That is right. Sooner or later, our digital native children are bound to use smartphones, tablets, apps, and the internet. Some are using them already right now. So how do we raise them in the digital age? And today, we have psychologist Michelle Alignay to help us navigate the wired world wisely. Hi, and welcome back.
Hello,
Thank you
Michelle.
for having me.
Yes.
Hi, Cheska and
Again,
Rika.
thank
We
you.
have more questions to ask
That
you.
is right.
So first, how can parents and their children use social media sensibly?
Let's go by the age-appropriate rules.
Okay.
How would you know if it's age-appropriate for your child? A young child should not really be in Facebook because Facebook has the guideline of 13 and up. So Facebook himself knows that there are contents there that are not really good for young kids.
Alam mo, honestly, 13, 14, 15, no. It's a no for me. I think they're still too young. They're still easily influenced. Maski nga pag 18, 19 years old ka eh. I can't completely say that by that age you already know
how to govern what you take in. And
exactly your choices, diba? My goodness, even IG. Yun,
Yes.
mas uncensored
all
pa yun.
platforms and all
Yeah.
kinds of platforms.
And who knows what will be the newer ones, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So as early as now, I really recommend to parents that you should learn how to manage. One
Right.
is the internal and the other one is the external.
Okay,
External,
sorry, you're talking about internal and external
Regulation.
Regulation,
Yes.
yeah, because just for our viewers.
Yes.
Okay.
So internal first, we need to train our children to be critical media literates because we are all consumers of all kinds of media, especially now it's social media at this age. So our children, if you see some content that are not good for their age, maybe it's also the golden time to teach them. Like, what is this that you're seeing? How do you feel about this? Do you think it's right or wrong? Parents need to be there. The key with
Yes.
internal regulation is it will be up to us, parents. The cue here is we need to be there. I need to be with my kids to understand what they're into, to try to ask them questions of what do you like? What do you like about it? How do you feel about it? Is that offensive or not? You think in our family, is it allowable or not? So internal regulation also comes with rules.
Right.
Rules are very, very important. Rules of how much they can have, how much they cannot have, why is it's not good for them to have it. So the children will be able to learn how to discern. It's a good
You
word,
know,
discern.
I really like what you're saying because just a background for the viewers, before we came on, we were talking about it that this generation is a generation of entitlement.
Yes,
They are entitled to
generation.
their own privacy, to the no rules thing. But I really strongly encourage the parents to have rules because as we hear from you, boundaries are good for our children, right?
Children need boundaries.
Right.
They will not thrive in the real world. The real world have rules.
Yes,
everywhere you
exactly.
go.
Everywhere you go.
We have rules. So as early as the kids are little, we have rules. No hitting,
Right.
no jumping off the bed. You know, as
Yes.
simple as that. And it progressed. And rules are revisited. And rules are agreed upon.
I like
Okay.
that, ha? I like that.
Revisiting rules is also very good because I believe that children have different seasons, different
Different
ages.
seasons,
Issues.
interests. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then they have different needs. So one rule may be true for one child, but another child may have the same rule but different kinds of implementation.
But I think also your relationship with your children, that's when it comes
Yes.
in. When you have a relationship, then you can implement your rules.
Yes.
The biggest internal regulation here for our children is really have a good relationship with them.
That
Because
should be the foundation.
that's the
That's-
foundation. We cannot have rules. We cannot implement rules. We cannot tell them, stop watching that. You know that it's not allowed. You cannot have this. They will just get mad.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's like they're looking at a stranger and asking the stranger, why are you telling me what to do, right?
right.
That's why, to the moms out there, nako, you have
Build
to
on the
listen to
relationship.
this.
Yes.
You have to.
I have a question though.
Yes.
Let's say there's an issue of addiction
Yes.
to either internet, computer games.
Yes.
That's a big thing as well. How do you deal with that?
That will be your gauge on the level and the quality of the relationship you have with your child.
Okay.
Because you just cannot reprimand them. Just cannot be there and say, hey, stop that.
Yeah.
We need to, sit down with them. In Tagalog, it's called talagang pag-uusapan, hindi pagsasabihan.
But what if, like let's say, kahit na pinag-usapan nyo ng maayos and they still have a hard time accepting it, what is another way perhaps that we can go about this?
Go back door.
Go back. Okay, what is
Go
the back door?
The back door
I
is,
want that back door.
before you implement the rule, create a relationship
We
with
go
your
back
child,
pa rin
with your
with ano,
teen.
yeah.
Date them. Walang rules.
There.
Don't talk about the mistake. Don't talk about the digital addiction. Don't talk
Right.
about it. Just talk about yourself, your interests, what you want into. Walang pagalit, walang sermon. Just the two of you. Once you get their loob.
At the end of the day, it really boils down to the relationship
Yes.
that you give your children. You might be wondering, no, kasi we're talking about social media, we're
Yes.
talking about gadgets, pero
But
napupunta
why
tayo sa
are we-
relationships,
Oo.
di ba? Pero because at the end of the day, it's not the iPad, it's not the phone, it's not the laptop that you want them to have a relationship with. It's really your relationship as parents,
I have
right?
a quote for that. No amount of gadget and multimedia can replace the role of parents.
Right.
We really need to do our role. A lot of kids, I hope you don't mind me saying this, a lot of kids and teenagers go to social media and gaming, RPGs, because they cannot relate with their parents.
Right.
So it becomes their escape because these teenagers need connection of people who will be able to understand them.
Yes.
So if they cannot get it from home, where?
There are parents that say, buti na nga lang, nasa computer,
Yes,
sa harap nila ng computer, kesa naman nagbabarkada. What's your take on that?
Okay, development again. Development of teenagers, puberty teens, and then teenagers really thrives on interpersonal relationship, development of social skills. So they are not really developing the way they should kung nasa bahay lang sila because they are supposed to be interacting
Socializing.
with teens.
Yes.
Socializing. They get to know who they are in the process of being with friends and peers.
Yeah, and
I
what-
think also what I'm getting from this, no, is, earlier in the past episode, we were talking about, what did we call the parents again? If they're
the migrants.
the migrants. We also have to update what we know because the
Yes.
children are already way too advanced, but then nahuhuli yung parents,
Uh-huh.
right? And they need to update. Kung yung old mindset na, nasa bahay, safe yan, that's not true
They can have
anymore.
boyfriends and girlfriends at home without leaving
yeah,
the
di ba may
confines
mga
of the
eyeball,
gate.
eyeball, mga
Yes.
ganon.
And they have forums, they chat, they know how to go around the web.
So I think parents also should do well in updating themselves. What is going on? There is another world, a whole new world outside of there, which is the web sphere, di ba?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, what I'd like to ask is, like for introverts who don't really like to
Yes,
socialize,
I like this.
diba, what do you have to say about them staying in front of the computer, diba?
Expressing themselves there.
Exactly.
Balance
Okay.
of the real world. It may not be really socializing, but being with nature, doing your craft, reading, but not really entirely being in the computer. Because being in just one digital platform, there are three aspects: time, content, and speed.
Right.
The speed is the speed of what you're getting. It has an effect to the brain if you're getting used to so much speed. Another one is the content. What are you always into? What you focus on grows, right? So kung ito laging pinapanood mo, yun yung mga
Nagpa-feed,
nagfi-feed.
nagpa-fuel ng everything about
Yes,
you.
and then the
Okay.
last is time. Imagine you spend half of your life in the computer. What will you learn? What will you experience in the real
I mean,
world?
pretty much, I think they will learn stuff, but
They will.
It will be incomplete.
It will be incomplete. You cannot really smell a flower there.
Exactly.
You
So the
cannot-
tactile is very important. The presence, the
the
flesh.
face to face,
Yeah.
the real laugh.
Piece of advice.
Yes.
Yun, nakala ko makakalimutan. Hindi pwede.
Exactly.
Piece of advice.
Yeah.
For the
Okay.
parents.
I say it often that it doesn't mean that when we give birth to our kids, we know them well. We have to know our kids. We have to be there to help them develop in their proper developmental stages, in their identities, in faith, and in love. So these things will not happen just because we have the iPad. Wala pang na-inventong app for parenting. You may read about it, you may learn about it, but actually living it, it's still the strongest connection you can build with your child. The strongest connection is not really your whatever Wi-Fi connection or your data connection, but the strongest connection is building on the parent-child relationship.
I love
That's why the digital media cannot replace our role as parents. That's the biggest thing that I hope all parents of the digital natives will realize.
Thank you so much,
Thank
Michelle.
you
You
so
know what?
much.
I hope the moms out there and the dads as well, you took down notes because that's what I'm going to do right after this. Thank you, and
Thank
I hope
you.
we can invite you again sometime soon.
And I would like to invite everybody. Akala mo buko, di ba? No, but I'd really like to invite everyone to get
A
this
copy
book,
of this,
to
yeah.
understand, to understand your child, to understand, what social media can do, di ba? Responsible parenting is also responsibility in, exposing our
Right.
children with social media.
And not only that, this is also very good for Filipinos. It's
Yes.
contextual.
Contextual.
So
Yeah.
I think Filipino moms and dads will do good to get a copy of this. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you.
My regards
Thank you
to
so
Miss
much.
Rina.
Yes, thank you, thank you.